Hi everyone, this is Marie Blue Angel and I am playing Keyframes today. This is a visual novel set in college where we will meet some other college students and get to know them and maybe romance will bloom. I've been recommended to play this game multiple times. Thank you everyone who has recommended Keyframes. It's been on my list. I just finally have gone into it considering that when I post this, it's right before Valentine's Day, so gotta be with the times. Or maybe it is Valentine's Day. Anyways, I thought it'd be very perfect for the holiday, something light and fun. And I've been meaning to try it, so let's just get into it, and we're gonna see how it all goes. Ooh, time to take a quiz, a personality quiz. And no, you're not allowed to skip this. We're giving you a series of statements for you to answer truthfully. Or not. We're not the boss of you. So let's start. First question. Be honest. Are you the type of person that likes taking risks? No. A simple yes or no. Uh-oh, you forgot to write your paper and it's due tomorrow morning. There's no hope. May the failing grade be merciful. It's due tomorrow morning. I'm staying up. Email the teacher and ask for an extension. If I don't sleep tonight, maybe I can make it. Panic, cry, pray, and then just write for my life. I think I would just, if I don't sleep, truthfully, if I don't sleep tonight, maybe I can make it. Are you the type of person who laughs at their own jokes? I mean, they are funny. I never managed to get the punchline. Probably this one. All of a sudden, your best friend turned into a worm. What do you do? Love them and take care of them in this new stage of their life. Probably that one. Do you have to read the directions first or guess as you go? I mean, that's what directions are for. You're fighting with a friend, but it's gone on long enough. What do you do? Apologize first, and maybe you don't think you're wrong. Nothing more confrontation is too much. Oh, well, I guess it really just depends on the situation. I think, like, if I really wanted to keep them in my life, I'd pick the first one. Apologize first. But if I could really, if I don't really care because, maybe this is a recurring thing, wait until they apologize because you were right and that leads to continued not talking to each other. That's probably it, unless, again, if you haven't talked about it, then that would be a different scenario. Okay, yay! You got invited to a party. Problem is, you don't really know anyone there. I can meet people when I'm there, yes. Your friends spring sudden plans on you. What do you do? It depends. I mean, if I'm already booked, I'm booked. Someone took your go-to karaoke song. What do you do? I have many go-to karaoke songs. What's yours if you do karaoke? Sing it anyway, it's still your song. That's also true. Find another song to sing instead. Join them for a duet, probably. Calculating results. Your fall. Okay. These personalities are often characterized as empathetic, gentle, often thinking of life from the perspective of others. Falls might be the last person to speak, but it's only because they want to make sure that everyone said their piece. For all their understanding, however, it sometimes comes at the loss of their own wants. As a fall type, some of your actions and responses are already predetermined, but don't worry, you will still be able to influence your character throughout the game based on the choices you make. Okay, I see. Now let's double check some info. So that's all for Obad. Marie Obad. Okay, great. Department of Humanities at Rin Mayer. I like those. Cute. Let's just go through this. Ooh, name tag preview. We won at We want a barbecue. We want the barbecue. Okay, there will be quick time events. Oh, I have to like do my keypad. Okay, that's fine. Sure. We're Marie Obad, and we are fall type. That actually pretty much captures me. Okay, great. I'm excited. Your phone rested you from your dream, and you woke to the scratch of your sheets and the whir of the AC unit. Sighing, you stuck out an arm and patted it gently around the blankets. Your phone was cold to the touch, and you yanked it quickly under the covers before swiping to answer the call. Hello, who is this, Cam? Our bestie? Hello?
Bro, you sound kinda sexy. Like, a little. You hear it too, right, D?
Well, thanks.
It's dangerous for my heart.
Cameron? Deja? Is that you?
Ding ding ding. Correct. Now here's $1,000,000 question. Do you know what time it is?
Don't know. You opened your bleary eyes. In the wash of warm light filtering through the curtains, you recognized the late morning hours stretching across the floor. Pretty. It had to be well into the day now, and you squinted at your phone for confirmation. 12 p.m. It's noon.
Exactly.
What does this mean for me?
That you should probably get up?
Do I have to?
Well, I tried.
Dude, you're too nice. Let me. Hey, you gotta wake up.
Thank you. Both.
You'd better not have forgotten.
Forgotten what?
Today's Raina's barbecue party, remember? Cam and I finished buying the snacks and stuff. We're also like 15 minutes from campus. So, if you still want to ride, you should get up. Like, right now.
Ugh. Oh no. I overslept. I'm sorry.
And there's the reaction we're looking for.
Thank God. It finally sunk in.
Real sorry, guys. I'll be as quick as I can.
Hey, it's okay. You've got time. We'll be waiting for you in the parking lot, yeah?
We love you. We'll see you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Okay, thank you, Cameron and Deja. Love you both. The call dropped and you sprang into action, sprinting across the sun-warmed floor to get ready. Spring semester, second year. Okay, cute. You stepped out of your apartment building, bracing for a blast of heat. As the semester was drawing toward its close, temperatures had risen in a way that left you lingering in the chilled indoors. But thankfully today was a perfect spring day, one of the last ones you'd get before summer crept in. There was just one thing in your way. Oh, well, many things. Many people. At this time of day, Rinmayer University was as lively as ever. Students moved in and out of lecture halls, and they were clustered everywhere with their eyes on their books, their friends, or their phones. If you hadn't been so hell-bent on finishing your assignments for the week last night, you would have been awake in time for a peaceful morning, and be able to simply walk across the crowds, calm as anything. However, you wanted to be prepared, and that meant keeping up with whatever your professors gave you. You needed to get everything done just so you could go a few days without thinking about schoolwork. All your work from the last 2 weeks had piled up right until the last minute. Realistically, I would be in the middle. I'm gonna play this like as realistic. It's been a while since I've gone to college, but I would probably do this. I ideally would want to be the first one, but also I am a tired college student in this moment, so I'm gonna go with 2. Finals were around the corner, and you knew you were due for some late, stressful nights. Until then, you'd keep scraping together free days when you could. And thus, here you were. Hi, sorry about this, but can I just squeeze by you? Thanks. You did your best navigating the crowd, dashing in between gaps the moment you saw them. By the time anyone realized they were in the way, you already rerouted, darting around them instead of barging through. This does remind me, in college, I was a very aggressive pedestrian because I went to a college that was a bike town, basically. And I didn't have a bike, but I was very good at being a pedestrian because people on the bicycles, they were also aggressive, more so aggressive than the cars sometimes. And so you had to learn how to walk and navigate around them and everything, in addition to other pedestrians. Anyways, let's look at this. Ooh, it's a pretty spring. Luckily, you still made good time, and it didn't take long before the parking lot at the other end of the green came into view. Beckoned by the near end, you picked up your pace and zipped down the road. Almost. And there.
Shit, watch out!
Oh, person. Cute. Huh? You froze in place, and as you raised your arms instinctively, a pink blur darted right past you. Whoever it was, they promptly crashed into one of the lower walls bordering the path, flipping ass over electric scooter into the hedges. Actually, that has actually happened to me. Not the electric scooter part. It was someone on a bicycle turning the corner, and I was trying to cross at that intersection. I didn't see them. I promise I looked before I crossed. And luckily, we did not crash into each other. We went on our merry ways, but like honestly, if we had been like a second late, like, you know, sooner or later or whatever, we would have crashed. So this is how I imagined that would have happened. Dang, could have happened to me. But good, because I needed to go to class, so we're fine. All around you, students hissed in sympathy while your blood ran cold. So much for not getting in the way. I mean, I definitely want to go check on them. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? There was a rustle, and the student who swerved to avoid you emerged from the hedges with leaves in their hair. They lurched unsteadily, groaning as they clutched their head. You extended a hand, and they stopped moaning long enough to thread their fingers with yours. With your help, they climbed back over the railing, but they couldn't stand without swaying like a newborn foal. Hey, you with me? How are you feeling?
Honestly, my head really hurts. I think it's bleeding.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, like right here.
Alarmed, you reached up without a thought, running your fingers into their raven locks. I don't feel anything wrong.
You sure? I think it's behind my ear. Here.
Catching your wrist gently, they turned their head a little, and you searched again with a careful touch. There was nothing, aside from the dread twisting in your gut. I can't find it. Maybe you should go see... The words died in your throat when you felt their cheek drop into your palm. Their grip on your wrist had shifted to the back of your hand, softly holding you there so they could nuzzle in your touch. You blinked rapidly in muted confusion, and they glanced at you from the corner of their eyes, their mouth lifting into a smirk you saw. Their mouth lifting into a smirk you saw and felt against your skin.
Would you look at that? I'm feeling totally fine now.
What a flirt.
Do you happen to have a healing touch?
They were your least kind of favorite people. Annoying flirts. Ah, I see what you did there. Very smooth. Yeah, how'd you know? You cracked a smile before twisting your hand and poking your knuckles lightly into their cheek. They chuckled, releasing you to tuck their hands into the pocket of their ripped jeans.
I felt the good vibes. Thanks for them, by the way.
No problem. But are you sure you're all good to go?
Yeah, why? See anything off?
Yeah. Here, and here, and here too. You pointed to their right shoulder, to the left shoulder, then finally to their chest. When they glanced down, you flicked your finger up and tweaked their nose. That's funny. Now you're good, and we're even.
Touché.
As nasty of a fall that had been, their laugh rolled like a tide in the late evening, washing away the sandy impressions of the whole accident. Their unshaken indifference was reassuring to see, but you couldn't help but ask one more time. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine, really. Healing touch, remember?
And they tapped at their cheek, chuckling. If they could keep joking like that, then there probably wasn't anything for you to be worried about. Hold, please. With their index finger raised, they turned to kick up the scooter next to them. After they scrutinized it for any dings or scratches, they hopped on for a more thorough checkup. They pushed off with their right foot, hand twisting the accelerator so that it started up with a low whir. and set off into a series of slow, smooth laps with you in the center. Nice. Still good. Someone's clearly not in a rush to leave yet. I'm actually running late for a meetup with some friends. But not so late since you have the time to joke around. You were genuinely concerned. I couldn't help myself. You didn't know it was possible, but their smirk grew wider, tinging a few shades more playful as they admitted to teasing you. Okay, if you've got somewhere to be, why stick around? Are you kidding me? I can't just leave after running into you.
This is a scene straight out of a movie. One of us is supposed to fall head over heels for the other, you know.
Obviously. Really now?
Yep. Movie law dictates it. I mean, 50,000 students on campus and you bumped into me? We can't ignore that.
We can't ignore that. I agree. Tell you what, though. You can decide who falls for who. I'm a romantic, so I can play whichever part. They really liked to lay it on thick, didn't they? It was starting to bother you. Not really. What a riot. They knew just how to clap back every time. I do love the banter. You didn't doubt that. They'd been super forward from the jump. They were being quite cute, cheesiness and all. Honestly, you weren't sure how to respond. I also, okay, I'm hesitating only because normally I would just, do the one that, like, we were flirting back also, obviously. But I made up in my mind who I was going to go for first. And it's not you, even though I want to. It's not that I don't want to. Whatever, anyways. It's that I wanted to have a clear decision before I played the game, given that there are multiple love interests, who I was going to go for first, and this wasn't who I was going to go for first, like, truthfully. Technically, they were second. But that's okay. It's fine. They were being quite cute, cheesiness and all. Or we could just be like, what a riot. They knew just how to clap back every time. I do appreciate that also. The quips, the delivery, it was an art form that they wielded with pinpoint accuracy. You pressed your fingers lightly over your mouth, but that only drew his attention to the smile hiding there. Oh gosh. How about this? What do you want me to play instead? Throw the question back at him. In that case, you can play the one who fell first. We can just make our point. What if this is more of a soulmates chasing each other through multiple lives thing? You mean you don't remember me? We've been together for years. Ugh, not the amnesia route. You'd pretend to fall in love with me. That's sweet. Okay then, you play the one who fell later, but harder. Also a fan of that. And this is where I walk away having charmed the pants off of you. There's so many options. I kind of like this one because it's not super engagey, in the sense of like, yes, we're throwing back the banter, but then also we're not like super, maybe it's more of a nice slight deflection. Who knows? Anyways, you pretend to fall in love with me. That's sweet. I knew it. Who said anything about pretending? I did. It takes a little more than a scooter mishap to woo me. Ah, so you're saying I do have a shot then. There was a breezy confidence in the way they answered you, and the easy lilt to their voice told you they were more than used to this kind of tomfoolery. It was tempting to stick around just to see what they'd come up with next. Unfortunately, I gotta go. Don't run into anyone else, okay? Am I allowed to take that as you wanting me for yourself? You didn't reply, but you didn't need to. The way your lips pressed together in an attempt to hide your amusement was telling enough. You knew they'd seen it, since their mouth was quirked into something between a smirk and a smile, into something that, for all their wit, was mellow and indulgent. I'll see you around. They lifted a hand, throwing you a two-fingered salute as you stepped past. You nodded back, waving a little before you picked up the pace. Bye, stranger. Gosh, that was already 20 minutes. That's so crazy. I love that. Love that. Oh, it's so fun. This is so cool. Okay. You lost valuable time, and so you dared to break into a jog as soon as you had a straight shot across the green. This time, thankfully, there were no collisions to be had. You slowed to walk off the light stitch in your chest, slipping by a group of students going in the opposite direction. Man, whoever that was over there, they are really passionate about that song. Tell me about it. As you headed between the rows of parked cars, an electronic beat filled the air. The source, a van with the front windows rolled down as its occupants rocked out to a song from a decade ago. Side to side. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Cameron. Cameron sat in the driver's seat, two-tone hair flying wildly as they banged out a beat on the car door. They were one of your best friends, as well as a year above you in the same major. More importantly, they were a self-professed champion of car karaoke. When it came to immersing oneself in song, passion was the name of the game. This is what I say about karaoke all the time. Karaoke is not like, yes, I can't, whatever. Karaoke is more about energy to me and effort and passion versus actual singing ability. I do get it. If you don't care, I think I've talked about this before, but like karaoke is like really fun for me. I like it. I enjoy it. And it's fine if you're not grown up with it or like it's not really your thing. But like I will say, if you want to get into it, it really is about energy. And participation is key, obviously. Anyways, and for Cam, that meant there was no need to worry about hitting the right notes. Hey, I forgot the voices already, gosh. The speakers went abruptly quiet right as they reached the high note. With a devastating gasp, Cam jerked around to face the passenger seat where your roommate Pigeon laughed with delicate glee. Deja was the third member of your unforgettable trio, an incorrigible tease, always looking for an opportunity to poke fun. She'd obviously been waiting for the right moment to turn the volume down. Hi Cam, hi Dee. At least the lull in the music meant you didn't have to shout. As soon as you called over to them, they both leaned forward to wave. Hey, sleepyhead. We were just about to go looking for you. I don't remember their voices from earlier, and I'm probably going to change them as we continue the story. Until I hear I'm going to try and match the voice acting that I hear, but I haven't heard it for like 15 minutes. After a quick karaoke sesh, right? Well, it was either that or we have to burst into the apartment with the boombox, and I left my boombox at home. But what if I wanted to karaoke too? Sorry I made you wait. You walked quickly over, trying not to waste any more time. Well, don't step on my account. I liked what I was hearing. What if I wanted karaoke too? Well, get on up here, champ. The mic's all yours. Cameron thumped on the car door 2 more times and you jogged over with a light laugh. Anyway, get in already. Oh, hold up. Back up a little. You stopped with a puzzled blink and then did as you were told. While you took a few steps backward, the side door to the car door popped free and slid open. Alright, now dive in. Huh? Dive in. Come on, it'll be funny. Deja popped her head out from behind Cameron's. Their brazen suggestion hadn't triggered any alarm, merely a listless smile, coupled with a roll of her eyes. Don't listen to them, Marie. Remember your middle school training. Peer pressure isn't cool. I'm not pressuring her. She can do whatever she wants. So Cameron said, but you didn't miss how their muted lilac eyes flicked to the side, clearly wanting you to indulge them. They were always a bit on the reckless side when it was just the 3 of you. If there was a chance to goof off, they'd take it. And if you weren't careful, you'd get swept along for the ride. Can I just jump into the seat? You're trying to fly today? Despite Cameron's invitation, you simply jump into your seat with no added theatrics. Why not? Time to jump for it. The name of not being influenced and in the name of being fun, you climb through Cameron's window instead. You took your time walking up to the driver's side door, and as you pulled together the nerve you needed. Hey, Cameron? Yeah. Yeah, but what's up? They softened their tone halfway through the question, leaning forward to look at you more earnestly through the open window. Is everything good? Yeah, I'm just coming through. What? Ah! Oh my god, this car is so cute. Look at all the frogs. I want the frogs too. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. And all the stickers and stuff on the roof of the car. Cute. Little sun cushion. Little flower cushion. It's cute. Okay. Quickly, you wriggled through the window, kicking your feet as you tipped yourself over in Cameron's lap. Hello. Hi. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Oh my god. Deja laughed despite herself, as so did you. Before you could squish Cameron too badly, you crawled into the middle row of seats. Wow, we're such a close group. I love that. Honestly, this kind of tomfoolery was pretty common when it was just the three of you. Subverting Cam's jokes to get an extra laugh out of them was practically a habit, thanks to all the time you spent together until now. Granted, this was the first time they'd asked you to pull this particular stunt. From how they were stifling the occasional giggle into the back of one hand, you had the feeling they'd gotten all they asked for and more. Camcorder to Ice Queen. I repeat, camcorder to Ice Queen. The package was received safely, now awaiting new orders. Over. We proceed as planned. Onwards. To Reina. To Reina. You all clicked your seatbelts in, and Cameron shifted the car into reverse. Twisting in their seat, they gave a quick peppy salute before settling one hand on the back of Deja's headrest. They maneuvered out of their parking spot with a practiced turn of the wheel, looking backward all the while. It was inevitable you make eye contact, and when you did, they winked. I know. I'm the coolest, aren't I? On most people, this kind of ego-boosting question would come off as arrogant. On Cameron, it came off as an intentional joke, a way to keep the energy light. You and Deja had a rare privilege of seeing Cameron at their silliest, and they made sure you knew it. I don't know why you keep doing that when you have a perfectly good backup camera. No. Cool? Nah. I think it's hot when you do that. Cam, if you have to ask, then you're not being cool. I want to be positive, though. This is our friend. It is hot, though. Well, in general, very, very attractive. Cameron slammed on the brakes and you jostled forward against your seatbelt with an oof. The sudden whiplash drew a disapproving glare from Deja. Get a grip, Cam. How can I? She just called me hot. Should I not have said that? No, yes, Lord, I am not your strongest soldier. You're agnostic. Also, you're holding up a line. Ah, shit. You gotta hype up your friends, you know? I'm a firm believer of that. They stuck an arm out the window to wave frantically before switching gears and turning the car out of the parking lot. It took until you were out on the main road for their grip on the steering wheel to relax. A cool breeze fluttered through the front windows, and campus buildings rolled by in silhouettes of glass, stone, and brick. Rin Meyer was an easy first pick for many students. While not overly prestigious, it was a beautiful school set near a cozy town, couched in hazy blue mountains and forests of deep green. That sounds really nice. I like that. The academics here were no joke either. It'd been competitive enough that you still felt more than lucky to be admitted into the pre-law track to boot. Oh, congrats to us. Why did I choose Rin Meyer? It was certainly the prettiest and coolest campus you had ever seen. Downtown Fairfield was what really sealed the deal. You'd mostly focus on your academics when choosing this place. And I think especially if you're pre-law, that's probably what I would go for. It is also it's a bonus that it's pretty and cool, so let's focus on academics. Rin Meyer was among the best in the country for political science majors, with a strong foundation for anyone looking to get into law school. Your professors were attentive and engaging, and more than a few were still judges or practicing lawyers. You already had a part-time job as an intern/clerk, and you dared to think that you were doing well along the track, right? You were well along the right track, even as a second-year student. Cameron slowed for a speed bump, and you heard the rustle of nylon bags in the trunk. How did shopping go? Deja tipped her head back for a laugh, more of a sharp exhale, really. It was easy to miss these mini laughs of hers if you didn't know what to listen for. Should I tell her, or will you? Why, what did you do, Cam? Why do you assume it's me or something? Remember, in the court of law, everyone is presumed innocent before they are. You are not on trial, but if you were, we present to the court a picture of a certain pyramid of paper towels knocked all over the floor. We had a defective wheel and the cart wouldn't steer right. Are we sure that was the cart's fault? Cam, remember, we volunteer nothing. Stay quiet. Aw, Cam, were you guys alright? Sounds like a weak defense to me. I will go for a third question. Yeah, aside from my dignity, but what's new? You should have seen them. They couldn't decide whether to run or apologize. We still had to check out after. Honestly, it's not like anything actually broke. The employees said it was fine, but Cam's convinced they can never go back to Dickinson's again. Oh no, but the macadamia nuts there are Dacia's favorite. Roll up to the Dickinson for some nuts. It's always in one ear and out the other for you. Okay, I love our little dynamic, though. Cameron snickered as they flicked the turn signal on. Deja tilted her head to look back at you. What's up? You met her eye with an automatic smile, watching as her expression softened. She took her time putting the words together as she usually did around you. Was your morning all right? Beyond the obvious, I mean. Well, naturally, you hadn't been set up for success today. Your room had been a mess. You'd woken up late, you had to run across campus, and gotten held up by that stranger. There's a lot to say about your morning from that alone, but did you want to tell your friends? Hey, why not tell them about that, actually? I would tell them. You didn't want to tell them you'd almost been even later thanks to that encounter. I would tell them. Well, I ran into someone on the way over. From where? No, I mean, I ran into someone. I didn't know them. You crashed ran? Yes, well, I didn't fall over, but they did. Lamau, what happened? It wasn't good. I was in the way, they couldn't stop their scooter in time, so they ran into a hedge. Oh, the poor campus foliage. But they were okay, right? They turned it into a whole rom-com thing. Really big on the sappy jokes, you know? Uh-huh. Oh, what's that for? What? What'd I say? You get those smug smiles off your faces. You leaned forward to drum your hands petulantly on their seats, and Deja laughed, unlocking her phone as she leaned away. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, did you get a name? No, we didn't. We left it for the future encounter, obviously. Cameron wiggled their eyebrows enticingly in the rearview mirror, and you scoffed. Your friends weren't the biggest gossips, but they could still be quite nosy in their own right. And honestly, if you're telling me a story like that, you better come with a name. And I will be asking questions, because we're close, aren't we? Cam's curiosity was born of genuine interest, wanting to know for knowing's sake, but Deja wanted to appraise. At the very least, she'd make it heard whether she thought someone was bad news. She had a good radar for bullshit, no matter the context. Crappy sales deals disintegrated under her discerning eye, and anyone with ill intent could look forward to the same. Alas. No, I didn't. What? Boo. Yeah, how's Deja gonna do any internet stealthing now? We just have to run into them again? In the intervening lull, you mulled over the stranger one last time. It was normal to share an encounter like that. You told Deja and Cam practically everything. That had been a little unexpected. You didn't usually share details like that with your friends. I am someone who will share with my friends if something happens like that. Yeah, there'd been little to no chance you would keep a story like that from your friends. It was all par for the course. Well, thanks for picking me up anyway. Of course, we can't miss out on today. It's so much free shit. Hey, don't forget, got to do work first. We will. If I have a lot of Tupperware in the back, that is a coincidence, I assure you. Some of that Tupperware is mine, right? Even if it's not, you can borrow whatever. Thanks. You smiled, resolving to help Cameron pack away whatever leftovers they wanted first. The rest of the ride was a tangle of light-hearted conversations. Deja and Cam were common fixtures in your life, but you rarely ran out of things to talk about. It was never silent, at least. Deja had the aux, and she put one of her playlists on as soon as you left campus. Gradually, the trees on either side of the road thinned, and the car entered a classy residential area with quaint homes, separated by large lawns and extensive driveways. Is this the one? Yep. Just pull behind the car. Just pull in behind that car. I can't read, gosh. Cameron pulled over, fitting the van into an empty spot. From the number of other vehicles already here, you probably were among the last of the helpers to arrive. Hopefully, Reyna didn't mind. Peering out the window again, you were struck by the suburban mood that blanketed the entire area. Man, who's getting a housing out here? This is way fancier than what's on campus. Huh? Oh, nah, this isn't for students. But Reyna lives here. She sure does. Deja flicked her wrist impassively, speaking with the bluntness of someone who'd seen this view one too many times. It's a legit neighborhood. Some of our professors live here, the tenured ones. Kim, I'm pretty sure your first-year seminar professor is her neighbor. No. Mrs. Gregory? Yep. Apparently, she swings by with muffins. Man, we didn't call her a G for nothing. I love you, Mrs. G. Cameron hollered after sticking their head out through the window, fists thumping on their chest to express their admiration. Deja snorted. So close. It's the one on the other side. Oh, well, whoever lives on this side, I also love them. Anyway, let's get going. Wait one second. The locks clicked shut, and the windows on Deja's side whirred as she rolled it back up. Should we be concerned? I'm already shitting bricks. Cameron, come on. This is important. I said this was a party that Reyna was hosting, right? And I was co-hosting. Yep, I remember, since it was so weird hearing that. What? Weird? How? You don't really do parties, do you? Not unless it's our birthdays or something. Mm-hmm. And we're here to help set up early. That means it's an SGB party. Case closed, Detective Obad. Case closed indeed. Excellent work, Detective Molinars. Deja pouted a little, and the two of you turned away to giggle. Your roommate was vice president of the student government board, which organized events and initiatives all over campus. It hadn't exactly been rocket science to guess the real natures of today's party. It was even easier when one considered that Reyna was SGB president, though that did bring up one inconsistency. If it's SG business, why not put that in the name? Why isn't it just a barbecue? Why is it just a barbecue today? Because it's a test run. We like to run this on a bigger scale next year, so we're running a small trial first. That's why it's at Reyna's place. The other SG people know, and now you do too, but none of the other guests really do. Okay, is that it? Nope, there's something bigger. Ooh. She held out one hand to each of you, palm up. I don't mind. Okay, you didn't mind physical touches at all. You stuck your hand in hers as requested, swinging your clasped palms with a little smile. Cameron was more enthusiastic, slapping their hand on hers with a resounding smack. While you were at it, you and Cam linked your free hands as well, completing the triangle and leaning in to listen. There was a pause as Deja's gaze glided from you to Cameron and back. The anticipation built as she gathered her words. The barbecue has a game at the end, a scavenger hunt. I am asking the both of you from the depths of my heart to take it seriously. I love yes. Let's wait. Your roommate closed her eyes and briefly tightened her grip on the both of you. When she opened them up again, there was a flash of greed in them. The scavenger hunt, my friends, has a prize of $500. Suddenly, the car was deathly silent. Let me repeat that. $500 fucking dollars. Cameron's tongue darted out to swipe at their dry lips. Ooh, that's a pretty big prize. Deja, if you're screwing with us, I'm dead ass. This is real. We, along with the rest of the guests, are playing for keeps, and there is, I shit you not, a fat stack of cash waiting in Reina's room as we speak. If there's ever a moment to take my words at face value, it is now, okay? I'm not kidding. That cemented it for Cameron. Holy shit! I mean, that's exciting. The car rocked on its axles as they leaped up on their seat, thumping their hands wildly on the steering wheel as they screamed. Even Deja joined in on the chaos, her heels driving into the carpet of Cameron's car in a series of gleeful thumps. The jewelry adorning her body jingled with the movement as she too began yelling. You joined in the celebration, of course. You bounced a few times in your seat, hands flying up in a poor attempt to hide the wide grin on your face. It wasn't often you whooped and hollered, but money was money, and there were $500 within reach. Okay, wait. Cameron came down from their initial shock to seize Deja by the forearms. Roommate grabbed them back, the white of her manicured nails standing out against the gray of their hoodie. Game plan. What is it? You have to have one, right? Like we're winning the thing, no question. Definitely. I already know where everything is. Otherwise, there's no point bringing it up. Wait, are we cheating? Deja grinned at you without hesitation, mischief sparking to life in her eyes. Some people call it cheating. I call it a utilization of prior knowledge given my role as party coordinator. You know what? I love that. I agree. That's just a long-winded way of saying we're cheating. If Reina didn't want me to cheat, then she wouldn't have asked me to help hide the items. Besides, just because we would know where everything is doesn't guarantee we'll win. We still have to get to everything first if we're going to grab what we need. Let's play to our strengths, guys. There was no rule prohibiting you from using what Deja knew. Maybe Deja was just really familiar with Reina's house and the neighborhood and the laws of probability. Nobody would know anyway, except for, maybe Reina, but if you removed all the evidence, you had a shot. I'm in. Cameron's grin was positively devilish, and Deja nodded solemnly. All right, so here's what we'll do. There was a sudden tap on the window, and Cameron let out an ear-splitting scream. Deja screeched and turned, flinging herself backward against the locked door. You dodged her flailing arm as she tried to sock Cameron in the shoulder, ducking back into this middle row of seats. Christ, Cameron! Oh, sorry.
You'd better not be doing what I think you're doing, Deja.
Damn it, Reina. I almost pissed my pants.
Reina peered through the passenger side window, her curled fingers shading her narrowed eyes. With her back to the glass, Deja looked sulkily to one side, stalling as long as she could before she'd have to make eye contact.
Oh, shit.
Are we in trouble?
No, I got this.
She steeled herself, then settled back in her seat. Rolling down the window, she stared flatly at her colleague, friend, and as of this moment, the bane of her master plan.
Reina, so nice to see you.
Why are you guys still in the car?
We were planning how to get the items out of the back, Reina. Cute. Even with the sharp questioning, Deja kept steady eye contact.
I'm just letting them know what's up. We want our helpers to know their way around the barbecue, don't we?
Likely story. You know what I think? I think you were tipping them off so you could cheat.
Deja's hand fluttered to her mouth, and she let out a bewildered, dainty laugh.
What? Us? Why would I do that?
Because I know you, and I know you can't resist, you cheater.
These are mere allegations. We can hold the proper trial. Play it cool, you won't be tricked into self-incrimination. After sharing a look with Deja and Cameron, the three of you maintained your silence. Reina couldn't accuse you if you didn't say anything to make it worse.
Pleading the fifth? You know it just makes you look more guilty, right? Whatever. I don't have to make you admit it. It's smarter if I change up all the item locations anyway. I should have never let you find out in the first place.
Damn it.
Yeah, puts a damper on your plans, doesn't it?
Reina grinned triumphantly before finally stepping away from the window.
Okay, come on out. You guys aren't just here to have fun after all.
Okay. Doors opened and shut. You lined up next to each other by the van. Raina paced slowly back and forth, her fingers tinted in front of her as she eyed you up and down. It was a bit embarrassing to be caught before you even cheated on anything. Raina seemed to think she had all the evidence she needed, and at her house, at her party, she was judge, jury, and taskmaster.
I suppose it's only fitting that I work the three of you to the bone.
Oh, look at all our outfits. Excuse me, we're so cute.
Whoa, now, let's not get hasty.
Quiet, please.
Raina pinched the air and drew it aside, a gesture to zip it and zip it fast. The smile she wore was so devious that you felt goose pimples on your arms.
Don't get the wrong idea. I love and appreciate the fact that you came early to help, but I also can't ignore the slight.
She stared pointedly at the future lawyers present, and Cameron whimpered from beside you.
So, since I must relocate the items for obvious reasons, Deja, you can oversee the rest of the preparations by yourself.
Cool.
What? Raina,
That's a lot by yourself.
Hard, I know. I've been doing it by myself until you got here, remember? The other SG students are in the backyard. They're like lost little sheep, so you'd better get over there before someone falls in the river or something. Shoo!
Deja's mouth worked silently, and you and Cameron went uncomfortably still as she glanced to either side. She may have been vice president, but this was still a huge responsibility being handed to her. Delegating and managing weren't exactly the most fun of tasks to start. Deja had complained to you enough times that you knew she particularly disliked having to talk to so many people at once.
Man, I hate it when they all come up to me for guidance. I guess I'll see you later.
Good luck, Deja. And there she went, trudging to the gate that led to the backyard. Watching her drag herself off, you didn't really have high hopes for what came next.
Cam?
Neither did Cameron, as they leapt a foot in the air, their backs straightening to military stiffness.
Sweet, sweet Cam. I'm gonna have you move all of the groceries to the backyard, set the table with snacks, load the coolers, and so on. When you're done, please handle the set list too.
Oh, sure.
Swept up in Raina's current, Cameron jabbed a button on their key and scurried to the SUV's rear, reaching to stick their arms through as many of shopping bag handles as they could. Shouldn't I help them with that? Carrying everything by themselves would be a grueling task, but they didn't dare complain, as they spun to drag as many drinks and snacks as they could to the backyard. And now, it was your turn.
You know, I genuinely thought you of all people wouldn't want to cheat.
What can I say? The money was too alluring.
Alas, even heroes can fall to the right temptation. Well, anyway, I've got just the task for you. You're gonna help a friend of mine finish making these damn cupcakes.
Okay. Sure thing, boss. Ah, so obedient. I love it. So, here's the deal. These cupcakes were supposed to be finished an hour ago. The guy you are helping knows what he's doing. You might know him for it, actually, unless you live under a rock. It's fine if you don't. It's not important. What matters is he's only one person, and I may have hit him with a really tall order. So just... She made a grand but uncertain gesture, waving one arm vaguely toward the house. Help where you can, alright? I mean, wherever you can. The clock's ticking. Okay. Yeah, Raina, I heard you the first time. Doesn't hurt to reiterate, especially since... Oh, forget it. Maybe I'm just worrying too much. Raina, Miss Nothing Gets Under My Skin is worrying. Now that's grounds for a little bit of concern. Raina sighed, her head tipping to one side as she folded her arms. Sorry, it's just that my friend's sort of finicky. I do believe you'll be alright, but just in case, I've got a couple of notes. 1. He's going to insist he can take care of the cupcakes himself. Don't listen to him. We need to expedite the process. 2. He's a little on the skittish side, like a bunny, so don't do anything to spook him if you can. Sure, no problem. Okay, then... With a jingle, she pulled a spare house key from her pocket, handing it over with a peppy nod. I leave him in your capable hands. Once you're done, come find me in the backyard. I'll be around somewhere. Okay, good luck with your stuff too, Raina. Thanks a bunch, Marie. And like the spring breeze, Raina left in a flurry of pink. You step through the front door, half expecting to find yourself in a life-size version of a pink plastic dollhouse. Surprisingly, the living room was just that, an average room, found in any house in the Northeast. Okay, I got like maybe 5 more minutes, but I want to see who this person is. Bummer. Maybe you shouldn't have expected much considering the exterior wasn't doused in baby pink. Back to the job. A sweet, warm aroma led you across the living room and through an archway on the other side into the kitchen. There was someone stooped behind the kitchen island with blonde hair and a green sweater. They bent even farther, leaning down to swap trays of batter in and out of the open oven. That'd have to be Raina's friend. You spoke up as you entered, trying not to startle them. Heyo. The door to the oven snapped shut, and with a fresh batch of cupcakes held in one mitted hand, he turned to you, lips parted in slight surprise. There was a moment of hesitation visible on his face before it gnawed into a genial smile.
Hello? Can I help you?
Hello, friend. Yes, you can. You're the cupcake person. I was appreciating the outfit without saying anything. Ooh, nice. It was only a couple of words, but you noticed a lilt in his voice. The vowels softly rose and fell, lending him a melody that threaded even the simplest of sentences. A foreign exchange student, maybe. There were plenty of those at Runmire. Hi, that's what I'm supposed to ask you, actually.
Pardon?
Raina sent me over. She said I'm supposed to help you with whatever you need. He nodded once before placing the tray on the stovetop and shaking off the oven mitt.
I see. I've got it covered, but thank you.
She said you'd say that. I'm supposed to insist on helping you. And so this is me, insisting. What can I do? He raised a brow as he thought, but after a moment he nodded a second time.
Well, I put the last batch in already, so all that's left is decorating.
Okay. There was barely any space on the counter when you joined him, thanks to the wire racks crowded with rows and rows of cupcakes. A number of them were already frosted, but there were plenty that hadn't been decorated. I'm starting to see why Raina told me to come help.
Waiting for the cupcakes to cool was the most time-consuming part. We'll be done in time.
He gestured to a row of piping bags filled with a rainbow of different colored frostings.
Do you know how to use these?
Luckily, I did know. No worries, I know what to do.
Then, please, be my guest.
Well, don't say that. Now you're making me nervous. Feel free to praise my work, obviously. Prepare to be impressed. Okay, but don't laugh if it's not up to snuff. Prepare to be impressed. Let's just be confident.
If I'm not?
Not possible. You will be.
I'm definitely looking forward to this then.
You glanced at the cupcakes that were already finished. Some of the designs were singular flowers made of layered petals. Others were entire bouquets of tiny clustered blooms, piped with a confident flair that made for a spectacular show of craftsmanship. Since flowers seemed to be the theme, you quickly pulled aside 3 colors of frosting, and with practiced movements you started piping. Along the way you switched from white to cream, then to a peachy blush. With a flourish, you lifted the nozzle one last time, revealing a rose that faded from one color to the next.
You weren't kidding.
Nope. I take it you were impressed?
Yes. You did an excellent job. Congratulations. You can carry on then. I'll deal with the finishing touches.
Cool. Returning to a rack of half-decorated pieces, he picked up a piping bag and settled in. Wherever his attention turned, leaves and petals unfurled in flicks of effortless color. Bit by bit, he cultivated a garden out of frosting. Vanilla and sugar wafted through the air, making the scene even more convincing. You're really good at this. You handed over a cupcake with a rosette on it, and he tended to it so quickly, creating a cluster of wavy-edged leaves. I'd hope so. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know. I'd hope so. I've been doing this for a long time. How long are we talking? 10 years? Maybe 11? I hope you're getting paid for this at least. Are you? No. I'm just a volunteer today. Raina knows I try to help out where I can. I see. Well, today I'm simply honoring a favor. That's a very big favor to call in. He cracked a wry smile and you grinned back, before realizing that you skipped a crucial step. Ah, I forgot. I'm Marie. She, her pronouns.
You can call me Jamie. He, him.
Okay, nice to meet you, Jamie. Something tickled the back of your mind when you heard that. Jamie. Yes? Oh no, it's just, I can't quite put my finger on it, but your name reminded me of something. It's an average name. No, there's something, like... Then your stomach decided to rumble, and your train of thought screeched to a halt. There was no way Jamie hadn't heard it, but he kept piping with his eyes demurely lowered and his mouth shut. Sorry about that. I haven't eaten yet. You haven't? There hasn't been a good opportunity to. Best to remedy that, then. He reached over to hand you yet another unfrosted cupcake. Have one. Let's say thank you and then eat it. Well, thank you. You're welcome. After that, all you had to do was peel the wrapper away and take a bite. The cupcake was light but decadent, sitting on your tongue with a distinctly floral flavor. It was sweet, of course, but not cloying, something that Jamie seemed to already know as he blinked expectantly in front of you. It tastes like a flower. That was the plan, yes? Any other notes? No, it's really good. Then please, do eat the rest of it. Suddenly, there was a rattling sound, and you leaned to look through the archway into the dining area. 2 silhouettes stood at the back door, rattling the handle to no avail. Damn it, it's locked. I told you, Reyna said no one's allowed in until the party starts. Dude, I have to piss so bad. You don't have a spare key? No, but if we go find her right now... Find her now, she might walk you in. Automatically, you took a step over, but before you actually got anywhere, Jamie spoke up. Don't do that, please. There wasn't a shred of hesitation in Jamie's voice. While you looked between him and the door, the silhouette shrank away from the curtain as the unfortunate volunteers gave up and left. Why not? I don't want people in here. Reyna's words from earlier resurfaced, skittish like a bunny. He didn't strike you as a timid type after talking, but now you were starting to wonder if there was something else going on. Still, there were few things that felt as bad as being unable to find a bathroom on time. What would that volunteer do? Beg Reyna to let them in? Drive all the way back to campus? There had to be a reason Reyna kept the house off limits. You'd keep the door locked. I mean, it's not my house. Well, I feel bad for them, but Reyna did lock the door, so... With a final glance at the door, you moved to pick up another cupcake. Jamie did the same, though he was finished piping an entire flower by the time you got 1 layer of petals down. He was moving at a clipped pace, his eyes fixed on his work as he let the silence between you stretch. It felt like he was waiting for you to do something. Judge him, maybe, for refusing to help others, or ask him to explain himself in more detail. There was a slantways way to do that without sounding like you were accusing him. So, I think almost all the other volunteers here are student government. I'm guessing you're not, since you only said you were doing Reyna a favor. That's correct. I'm not either. Deja, the vice president, I'm her roommate, so we came together. Us and... There was that rattling again, from the front door this time, and it was followed by the familiar scrape and then clunk of the lock turning. The party's not starting, is it? Wiping your hands, you walk briskly into the living room, intent on investigating, only to hop aside as the door swung open much faster than expected. Excuse me. Without further ado, a student dashed right past you, disappearing down the hall. A second student leaned through the door to shout after them, still holding a spare keyring. Reyna says we got 5 minutes, so hurry. Whoa! They flinched, realizing they were standing next to you, and you put your hands up in an automatic, placating gesture. Hi. Hi? Wait, how'd you get in here? Oh, Reyna asked me to help out. You answered automatically. The student gave you a second, more discerning look. Uh-huh. Well, as long as I'm waiting for my friend, I'm gonna sit. The front door clicked shut behind them, and while you quietly reached out to relock it, they moved across the living room, only to glance into the kitchen and pause, perking up with evident glee. Yo, cupcakes! Did you do all this? No, I just started helping with the decorations. Yeah? Who made them then? You didn't mention Jamie. If they hadn't spotted Jamie yet, it meant he left the counter where the cupcakes were. You couched your answer in a little lie of omission, walking closer. Someone who owed Raina a favor. That's why we're all here, am I right? They chuckled conspiratorially, and before you could get around them, they stepped into the kitchen. Oh, how long have you... Whoa, wait, Jamie? There was a half-decorated cupcake left on the kitchen island as well as a piping bag. Jamie was standing in the dining area, far away enough that it was clear he tried to stay out of sight. Hello. I didn't know you were here, but this makes sense. Geez, this is a ton of cupcakes. Mm-hmm. And why are you here? Oh, we had to use the restroom. Well, not we, my friend. Right on cue, footsteps came back from elsewhere in the house. Jamie stepped back toward the counter, his shoulders sloped downward. The volunteer next to you raised their voice. Hey in there, you're not going to believe this. What? Why are you... Oh, hi Jamie. The first student peeked into the kitchen, then scampered in with a wide smile. The eyes were instantly glued to Jamie, to the point that they almost pushed by you on their way in. If these two had their way, they'd be behind the kitchen island in a second, cooing over the finished cupcakes. But 2 steps in, Jamie put a hand up, his expression polite but distant. Please stay on that side of the kitchen. I'm still working on these. You've been in here making cupcakes the whole time. Man, if we told it was Jamie in the kitchen, our guest list would have exploded. As they spoke, the second student reached out and Jamie smoothly plucked the half-decorated cupcake off the island counter before they could touch it. He picked up the piping bag with his other hand, finishing the rosette on top instead of replying. It didn't help much. If anything, it gave the volunteers something else to talk about. I swear, these things look almost too good to eat. Almost. Like, really, you could have asked Raina for help. This is so much to handle all by yourself. It wasn't difficult. A little time-consuming. Jamie's sentences were oddly short and quiet, but the low volume of his words seemed to encourage the two to crowd a little closer. Come on, you make it look easy, that's all. I know I couldn't do this much detail. The last time I had to decorate cupcakes, I just spread the frosting with a knife. Their giggle twirled and pitched into a higher octave just as the oven timer went off. Jamie reached to turn it off, picking up an oven mitt and opening the door. Are you sure you're not in some food sciences program? I mean, I know if there was a pastry degree or something, you'd be in it. More like teaching it. Jamie Porter on the faculty? The school would be swimming in tuition fees. And they laughed, bumping each other's shoulders with easy, raucous humor. You shuffled to one side to keep from getting jostled when what they said replayed in your mind. Jamie Porter was... What was it Raina had said? You'd know him unless you lived under a rock. You know what the campus rumor said, of course. Somehow you'd gone almost 2 full years without seeing the man yourself, but you'd heard things here and there about a certain transfer student whose smile charmed anyone in a single glance. His good looks, effortless grades, and princely manners made him a shoo-in for the position of campus boyfriend. TM, obviously. People loved to talk about him, no matter what program or year they were in. And you'd been decorating cupcakes with him, completely unaware until the final clue fell into place. But seriously, what do I have to do to get a cupcake early? Jamie shook his head, placing the last freshly baked cupcake onto an empty rack. Automatically, he picked up a cooled one, piping half a rose as he spoke. They're not finished. Well, not all of them. What about that one? They leaned forward, lifting a hand to either point at the cupcake in Jamie's hand or reach for it outright. Jamie stepped back and they pulled their hand away, sucking in a breath that turned into a sly chuckle. Yo, just kidding. I see how hard you're working on that one. Got any rejects lying around? I'd be surprised if there were. Yeah, good point. Like Jamie Porter ever messes anything up. The atmosphere in the kitchen had chilled since the volunteers had come in, but neither of them seemed to notice. Glancing at Jamie, you noticed he was studiously avoiding eye contact with everyone in the room, you included. Okay, confidence. Your choices, your stats. Did I click on something? Your choices and keyframes can impact your main stats, which are divided into 4 categories. Confidence, guts, impulse, bravery, charisma, wit, charm, creativity, compassion, patience and consideration, composure, poise, restraint, and balance. You can always check your current stats by clicking on the info button located on the quick menu. Some interactions may involve hidden stat checks, and success or failure will impact the story you're playing through. Passing a charm check could let you pull off a flirty joke, but failing could cause a fumble instead. But don't worry, Keyframes isn't a pure stat raising game, and our checks are mostly for flavor, so try not to stress. Okay. This was getting ridiculous. Time to tattletale on these volunteers, said Deja. There was a tactful way to address this. Maybe they were overwhelmed with the jobs they were given. Okay, enough was enough. These volunteers had to go, and you'd send them on their way. I would just send them on their way. Hey. Oh, failed. The party's going to start soon. Your voice. Wait. Did I need to check my fucking... what are my current stats? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Your voice barely wavered as you interrupted, and you kept your head up and shoulders loose as the volunteers turned to look at you. There were times to put your foot down, and this was one of them. We're going to inconvenience everyone if we can't get ready on time. Maybe we should... Hey, read the room. Honestly, Jamie doesn't mind, does he? They overrode you without a scrap of hesitation, and you balked despite yourself, taking a little too long to put the next attempt together. It didn't escape your notice that they hadn't actually bothered to get Jamie's opinion, but that was because they were staring at you. I'm just saying, we're all volunteering, and Raina gave us jobs to do. Yeah, and we'll get to them in time. Why are you so worried? Seriously, chill out. We're just chatting.
If you don't mind, I need to keep working.
Cool, Jamie. It was Jamie's turn to interrupt. He slid a rack of cupcakes onto the kitchen island, pointedly keeping them out of the volunteers' reach. And when he looked up at the three of you, an unwelcome feeling of awkwardness crawled down your spine. Oh, it's no bother. You can...
I'm afraid it's more crowded than I prefer.
He left it at that, his level stare saying the rest. Reluctantly, the two volunteers trailed through the dining area, glancing over their shoulders at Jamie every few steps as if he'd changed his mind. So, we'll catch you later then. See you at the party. Finally, the back door shut behind them and the kitchen was quiet. In the wake of their departure, Jamie let out a slow, calm breath. I suppose that was inevitable. Yeah, sorry if I made things worse. You cleared your throat awkwardly, rejoining him at the counter and picking up a piping bag. Their words had stung a little, but at least it was over. You said the quiet part out loud. Not necessarily a bad thing. Jamie shrugged noncommittedly, sliding a fresh rack of cupcakes between you. In any case, I do appreciate you trying to help. You're welcome. He reached over, dotting 3 simple leaves over the edge of your cupcake in a second gesture of thanks. Jamie stepped away for a moment, checking whether the final batch of cupcakes was still warm. You stayed at the side, finding a steady rhythm and piping some flowers in quick, careful succession. You glanced at him once or twice as you worked, noting the way he angled his face away from you. Now that he knew you knew who he was, there was a wariness in his posture that hadn't been there before. He was Jamie Porter, after all, and you practically thrown yourself under the bus to get the other volunteers out of the house. If there was a time for you to go all starry-eyed on him, it'd be now. He didn't want others finding him in the house for that very simple reason, and thinking back, Raina's hesitation when she sent you here made complete sense. How many are left on your side? He asked you a throwaway question, and you glanced away to count the cupcakes within reach. Even if you were trying to keep your cool, the musical lilt of his voice was hard to ignore. Fewer than 10 left. Not too bad. It does go surprisingly quick, provided there are no distractions. When he looked at you, he had a small smile on, the same polite peach crescent that had greeted you when When he looked at you, he had a small smile on, the same polite peach crescent that he'd greeted you with when you first met him. Yes, it didn't look like there were any hard feelings about everything that had happened, at least on the surface. Maybe he did wait for you to finish more cupcakes on your side before he reached over to start adding any details, but he did add them. For all intents and purposes, you had your workflow back. The number of undecorated cupcakes dwindled steadily, and you even tried your hand at a few leaves and vines once you felt up to it. Eventually, Jamie tapped his finger on the counter, breaking your focus. Okay, the last batch needs another 10 to 15 minutes to cool, so you can finish up, then go back to Raina. You sure? I can stick around. It's fine. You can tell Reyna I'll be finished in time. You couldn't really hold it against him if he wanted some time to himself. It was as good a time as any to get back to the others. Then I'll let her know. Thanks for helping me help you. Of course. Bye. Okay, I think that's all the time that I have today. Thank you so much for watching. I am enjoying Keyframes so much, as I know that those of you who have recommended the game to me have already, probably already knew. But yeah, it's really fun. I'm glad that we met all of our love interests, which include our mystery scooter stranger, Reyna and Jamie, I believe, and we've met our best friends, Deja and Cameron, so that's also wonderful. I'm looking forward to the next time I can get into this, but in the meantime, if you haven't liked the video already, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see me play more of Keyframes, because I definitely will be getting into it. And also, enjoy this Friday, the holiday, if you celebrate or not. Treat yourself, I would say. I definitely will. And I will catch you next time.